Well, after a thrilling 8 weeks of the championship here for the Armed Forces Virtual Race Challenge, we are so very close to deciding who is going to come out on top, but it's not done just yet. It could be decided tonight, but we will have to wait and see. A very warm welcome to the virtual recreation of Silverstone. It's David Christie in the box again with you tonight, and as always, I'm very grateful to be joined by my learned friend John Knight. And John, welcome back to the commentary box. We were treated to an interesting outing last time out at Snetterton. Silverstone, I know it's a favourite track of yours, should offer some tight racing tonight.
I think you're right, David. Yes, very good evening to you, and a very good evening to wherever you are watching this evening in this penultimate couple of rounds of the Armed Forces Virtual Race Challenge. And I think you're right, David. We're in for some interesting racing. Just been having a look at the qualifying, and there's certainly been some interesting times put out, some good times put out as well, but also some very interesting coming togethers. And we'll see whether how the drivers cope with this Grand Prix circuit, which is one of the greatest circuits in the world, is it not?
Now, see, I'm going to take the unpopular opinion here. Having raced it in the little Citroen C1s, it's okay. I would say that it's not my favourite in the UK. I think for me, there's personally other tracks out there that I would rather race at, but for this mix of GT3 machinery and GT4 machinery, and for where we are in the championship and how much rests on tonight, I cannot think of a better place for this race to be taken. Of course, it's the full 3.66 mile GP configuration that we're going to be racing out tonight. We've been here once before the season, back in early March. We were at the national layout, which is obviously a much shorter version. Do you think, it's very unlikely, but do you think we'll get any drivers trying to take the turn off a little bit too early?
Maybe. I think it all depends really on how they have been practicing, maybe during the week. Maybe they've been able to get to grips with things during the week. It's shall we say, it's not a very forgiving circuit, is it, this? And if you make a mistake, right from the word go, you can be in big trouble. I've seen so many people coming off and coming a cropper, literally coming out of Woodcote, going straight into cops, and that's a huge sort of early warning, isn't it, really, of what's to come. And if you're herring down the Hanger Straight going into cops, herring down Hanger Straight, you can get yourself into real trouble by the time you get to Stowe. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, we got there eventually.
We did, yeah.
The other thing as well, just looking at the qualifying times going on just now, obviously 21 cars taking part in qualifying tonight. Now that's not to say that there aren't going to be a couple more join us for the race, but to still have 21 cars at the end of a season, where for many of the drivers, quite obviously, there's not going to be any, any sort of high rankings that they can achieve in the championship out of this. They're still coming in. It massively, it cheers me up to see that, because, obviously we do a lot of different sim races and a lot of different sim racing championships, and quite often, drivers will just drop out if there's not a chance for them to get like a top 5 position in the championship or whatever. They'll just drop out. So fantastic here, John, to see so many drivers still in this championship and supporting their fellow drivers.
Well, I think that's the key point. This is a team game as well as individual glory that people are looking for. And when you put the Army, the Navy, the RAF together against each other, then you're going to get this sort of loyalty in a way to the cause. And, points win prizes, don't they? And every point is going to count towards that team championship. We're looking at Craig Durrant at the moment, who he could be crowned champion tonight, couldn't he, I suppose, David, if all goes well for him. He's had such a fantastic season in the GT4, has looked so confident, and even when he's had bad races, he seems to have come out smiling. So, this man looks as if he's got the championship in his pocket, although he won't admit that, of course. But it's team points that are really crucial tonight.
Yeah, the team's championship, very, very close indeed. And a couple of things on that. Obviously, it feels like we've been saying that for the past few weeks now, that that Craig Durham has had the opportunity to seal up the GT4 championship and the Drivers' Championship overall. But again, he's had mixed fortunes. Taking the first race last time out, and then having a bit of a mare that he managed to recover from in the second race nonetheless. So definitely has the potential for it, and I think if he wins here tonight, that will be good night Vienna. And the other thing is we've got 2 new drivers in this week. We've got Sean Nicholson, who is joining the fray for Veterans GT3, and Liam Waterhouse for Royal Navy GT3. Yes, that same Liam Waterhouse that is second in qualifying right now. That's a bit of a turn up for the books here.
Isn't it just? Yeah, I'll be keeping a very close eye on Liam tonight. Matty Chambers has been going extremely well, hasn't he, in qualifying tonight? What's happened to Chris Slater? Hasn't put a time in tonight. Is Chris not racing this evening? That will be a surprise. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what Liam can do in his GT3. A late entry, obviously, into the competition, and hoping to get good team points for the Royal Navy, because they're still in there. And I guess that this could be the sign of things to come maybe next season, if Liam puts in a good performance tonight. But he's right up there at the moment, and the top of the leaderboard with Matty Chambers.
Yeah, just a word on Chris Slater. I think he's obviously seen his early pace here, John, and he's maybe just for fairness sake not wanting to intimidate some of the other drivers here. So he's thinking maybe, competition-wise, it's maybe the fairer thing. Just sit it out. He can start from the back. No, I mean, joking aside, Chris obviously, a very, very welcome voice in our ears off air, and has had mixed fortunes, it's safe to say, through the championship, but yet again another of the drivers who are sticking with it. Currently 15th in the championship, when you consider we've got an unbelievable 34 cars that are listed in the championship, with some taking part in one or more races. It's not a bad place to be. Is up in the 15th position, and with 2 weeks left to go, both here at Silverstone and our final event, which is of course going to be Brands Hatch GP. Still the possibility of maybe getting into the top 10 there, because it's only 15 points that separates him from doing that, so definitely within possibility. But it's Matty Chambers currently pole position from Liam Waterhouse by 1.3 seconds. That is an incredible lap from Matty Chambers there, 2:03.179, and then it is Chris Pawley in third position. GT4's maybe unsurprising to see Craig Dunn up at the top of the GT4s with Michael Clough and Adam Barron in second and third position. Final lap's going in now, John, but again, maybe... I'm not sure where Clough's going, but that is...
What's Cloughy up to?
Yeah, that's a bold strategy there. I think he might just... he's completed his lap and thought, right, I'm just going to absolutely send it through Maggots and Beckett's. And what
donuts.
He's done... Yeah, he sent it, but he sent it to a different postcode there.
Yeah, well, he must be confident keeping his tyres warm on the grass. It won't do them any good, of course. Michael Clough second, yeah, and it's. I think it's going to be an interesting race. This is him again, isn't it? Is this what we just saw the replay a few seconds ago?
He's getting his drift on.
Yeah.
You can see him. He's just like, right, I'm just going to send it.
Forget the corners. Let's just go right across. Let's bisect it as the crow flies, or as the Clough flies, we should say.
Well, he got some airtime there, did he? Goodness me, can you imagine how frightening that must be in the car? And to be fair, he almost saved it as well. You can see the opposite lot going in there, but it's unfortunately a little bit too much for these little GT4 cars to handle. And having seen these things in real life for myself over the weekend, the difference between the GT3s and the GT4s is absolutely astounding. The GT3s are huge in comparison to the little GT4s, and the sound difference as well. The GT3s, out of all of the GT3 cars that were there, the Porsches just scream to the top of their lungs going down the straight, and the GT4s they sound like the little scrappy do of GT racers. They're little, they sound almost puny in comparison, but they really want to try their best to send it round the corners.
Well, there's Darren Berris just showing us how it's done. I've seen Darren so many times actually at Silverstone for real in his Westfield V8, and several times he's won the Burkett 6-hour relay race, helped to win for the RAF team there, and he knows this circuit pretty well. And you see how he's gripping the corners there. That's good. And Darren up to 8th place at the moment in qualifying, so that's looking quite good for him. And let's see a few other people as well, so they can get themselves into action. Chambers, look, as you say, looking forward to seeing Liam Waterhouse, see what he's capable of doing tonight in his first run out. Interesting that he's joined us so late in the competition, and we'll maybe be able to talk to him later and find out what the attraction was, what's brought him in at this late stage.
Yeah, we certainly might. But there we go. The time runs out. Silverstone beckons, and as if by magic, the paddock is transformed, and we are ready to race for round 9 of the Armed Forces Virtual Race Challenge here at Silverstone. Matty Chambers on pole position, with Liam Waterhouse joining him on row 1. Chris Pawley in 3rd position, with Stu Etick on row 2 as well. Craig Beasley on 5th position, with Chris Bolland in 6th. Chris Thornell in 7th, with Dan Berris in 8th position. Ben Weston is on row 5 alongside Colin Scott, and then Chris Slater at the back of the field for the GT3s. Moving then to the GT4s, and again, no surprise to see Craig Dunn up at the front there for British Army GT4. Alongside him is Adam Barron for the RAF Central Fund GT4. Michael Clough and Duncan Steele in 3rd and 4th position there. Luke Arpino in 5th and 6th on row 3. Rob Barrett on row 4 alongside Matty Banyard. And then row 5 is Steve Ward with James Fielding, and at the back of the grid, Michael Tate rounding him out. And what I didn't notice there, John, was Barron getting himself up into that 2nd position ahead of Cloughie.
Well, obviously Cloughie's little escapades going across the grass has cost him a place in that basically that final lap of qualifying. So it's 15 love at the moment to Adam Barron.
Is it going to be game, set or match? So that is what we're about to find out in the next hour or so. Remember, 2 races tonight. You'll be happy to know that the official safety car is there at the front of the field, which confirms that it is going to be a rolling start. But that doesn't mean that we are out of the woods with regards to the race start. And we draw our breath. A little bit of a connection issue. I think that's Craig Beasley that is flashing in and out on the 3rd row there, but we'll confirm that in just a second. But the car gets underway just now, and we get ready to go live for our first race of 2 this evening. And as we said, it's going to be a very, very interesting affair. 2 15-minute races is what you are in store for, if you haven't seen it already.
It's a safety car gone.
So the safety car's peeled off into the...
Oh, he's peeled off a bit early, hasn't he?
So, well, he starts there because we go out at, that'll be Vale and Club. So the car's coming round Club Corner, so it'll be down the Hamilton.
Yeah.
Down the Hamilton straight to get us going, because it's the GP version of the circuit here. And there we go, lights are about to go on the Gantry Bridge, and a little bit of confusion there, but the green flag finally flies, and away we go down to corner number 1 then. And yeah, looks fairly prim and proper just now as the car's making the way through. Chambers gets a good start there ahead of Waterhouse, and Pauly still ahead of Beasley. Dan Berris makes his move up into 7th position then. So of course, a little bit of contact there. That was Chris Bolland, and the two of them go flying off into the infield section. That was the number 90, Craig Beasley there, who got hit. And well, it's not the best, is it? I mean, the car's coming down just now, down the Wellington Straight. Yeah, you hate to see it, do you, John?
Absolutely. That was a bit of a coming together there, and rather spoiled a good, clean start to the race, isn't it? With Luke Arpino here in the GT4s, and he's made a bit of a move up to 5th place. 4th place, I should say, challenging Michael Clough now. With Craig Durrant leading Adam Barron in 2nd place. That's in the 4s. And Matty Chambers still has that lead over Liam Waterhouse. Pauly 3rd, Etok in 4th place. And Darren Berris has now moved up to 4th as well. So he's overtaken Stu Etok. That was a good bit of move from Darren Berris there. Although Pauly is back into... Yeah, Pauly back in 3rd place. But he's being challenged now by Darren Berris. So, yeah, good to see Darren doing well here.
Yeah, certainly is. So halfway round through our first lap of the evening then. GT3s, my Chambers out in front there. We're seeing Chris Pauly at the back of that group. So it's Chambers, Waterhouse and Pauly, a group of 3 cars, and they've got a lightning start ahead of the likes of Dan Berris, actually up to 4th position there. So that is a brilliant outing for him. But here is Stu Etik then on the back of Dan Berris. He's also got Ben Weston for company. Now Ben started on the 4th row of the grid, so good recovery drive from Ben as Chambers goes across the line to start lap number 2 then, as Craig Dunn still ahead of Adam Barron and Michael Clough. Clough onto the back end of Barron, but Barron dropping a little bit away from the tail end of Craig Dunn. But again, so early in the race here, 2.5 minutes gone out of 15, as you see, very late on the brakes is Stu Etik, and that is of course coming into the loop, and then it's going to be round Aintree. Wonderful circuit this, 3.6 miles long, as flat as a pancake, John, but plenty of opportunities for overtaking, especially at the likes of Stowe Corner, on the run down to Copse as well. The drivers are going to be absolutely in their element tonight.
Here we are, absolutely, and I just love watching them racing here at Silverstone. And of course they're able to spread out a bit more as well, so hopefully we're not going to see too many comings together, although they are still quite bunched up, aren't they, for the GT4s. A bit of a replay here, and this is where Chris Boland had that incident, and that was right at the beginning of the race, wasn't it, in the first lap? So that's what caused that. And I think from what I could see early on, it's a good clean start for Matty Chambers. He's increased his lead to 1.78 seconds now, so he's increased his lead on Liam Waterhouse. Craig Durrant just half a second ahead of Adam Barron at the moment. So the leaders in the respective races are staking their claims early on.
Now, what has happened actually to Durant there? Because he was 1.3 seconds ahead. That gap now half a second. Durant's going to be in the tow very, very shortly. Here's a replay of Duncan Steele, and this will not be the last time that we see this sort of incident. That is through Maggots, Beckett's, and then into the Chapel Curve. So not quite reaching Chapel Curve, but yeah, an unfortunate incident. But again, one that is very, very easy to do here. It's so easy to just take too much speed into Maggots and Beckett's, and the back end just washes out. That gap between Craig Durant and Adam Barron then, just 0.4 of a second as we go to a replay this time of Steve Ward in the RAF eMotosrports GT4, and that is late on the brakes. And well, I mean, and that is a terrible rejoin as well, to boot. That is, I think we'll move on from that one, because I don't really have much to say on that one there, John.
He gave the guy in front a bit of a booster though, didn't he? He actually boosted him around the corner. He actually hit him in the right way. It was like a turbo boost. He must have been quite surprised, actually.
It came out of absolutely nowhere. You can imagine the guy in front, John, listening to, quite happily racing along, listening to Radio 4 in the car, and just suddenly, bang, this car. And to be fair, it was only him that got affected by it, because he went straight off. And decided to try and come back on. But here's Craig Beasley then, up on the inside of Colin Scott, makes that move as easy as you like on the number 21 there. Looking to see if the car was going to get a run out of Stowe. It doesn't, and that is a position then for Craig Beasley. Great job there. Obviously lined up that very, very well in advance. And now the gap going up very slightly as Ben Weston. This is going to be on the run down into the left-hander just after Vale then, through into Club Corner.
Whoa!
A moment and a half, isn't it, John? Clipping the curb on the inside.
I don't know what Ben's up to at the moment, but I think he won't be making that mistake again, I'm sure. But interesting to see Liam Waterhouse, just how confidently he has made a start. I mean, he's 2 seconds behind Matty Chambers, but he's actually made a really confident start to his career here in this competition. Here's Luca Pino making a challenge with Adam Barron. That's really close now, isn't it? And let's see how that's going to develop, because it looks like Luke might be getting the better of Adam, and the person who's going to benefit most is obviously Craig Durant, who already he's built that lead up again, hasn't he? What's Cluffy been up to?
Let's see. This is through the right-hander. Oh, he's got 2 wheels on the grass. His front right wheel onto the grass, and that's enough to hook the car round. That's a bit of a red-faced moment for Michael Clough. He knows that he can't do that, but the RAF eMotosrports GT4 driver gets away with it, or he would have got away with it had we not caught that on the replay. So yeah, I won't tell anybody if you don't, Clough, but never mind. Halfway already through our first race of the evening. How that happened, I've got no idea. We're on the back end of Liam Waterhouse right now, 4.5 seconds behind Matty Chambers, who has clocked out right now. This is Chris Pauly just behind him. Won't make a move through Maggots and Beckett's, but again, I'm surprised that he got that close there, because it looks like, John, it compromised him through there, and it looks like Liam Waterhouse just gets the better exit out of the corners.
Yeah, to hang her straight, and fast though it is, it doesn't look like Pauly's going to make any sort of gain on Waterhouse here, going into Cops. So going into Stowe, I should say. I'm getting Cops and Stowe mixed up. I beg it, but I do apologise about that. But Waterhouse just having to defend his position, which helps Matty Chambers to increase his lead now to 4-5 seconds. So that's a good lead, and it looks as if Pauly has got that overtake then on Waterhouse, and he's scooted through, hasn't he? He really has.
What a move that was, John. That was absolutely brilliant. Incredible. That was Pauly late onto the brakes, took the outside line, got the cutback, got the drive, and just drove right round the outside of Liam Waterhouse. That, if ever I've seen, is a school lesson right there in offensive driving 101 from Chris Pauly. Great overtake. And to be fair, I don't think Liam Waterhouse is going to be too unhappy with that, given the pace that he's already shown just now, and it's definitely not over yet. Could still be a change back for that second position. Going back to the GT4s though, something has happened again to Craig Dunn there, because no, sorry, it's the timing screen is just playing up a little bit. Now I wonder actually, because it was up to about 2 seconds. And now it's down to about 1 second. I wonder if Dunn is maybe flirting with the track edges a little bit and finding himself vulnerable to slowdown penalties. Because there we go again, back down to 0.8 of a second.
It could be right. I was just looking at the GT3s. Darren Berris, something's happened to Darren. He was up to 4th, and he's dropped down to 6th place now. So Stu Eatock and also Darnell have got past him. Not quite sure if anything happened there, but Darren Berris trying to make up the time, but he's about 2 seconds behind now. So that's an interesting state of affairs there. With Duncan Steele at the moment, what's he up to? He's challenging for his place, isn't he, with Matt Banyard? And is he going to get through? He's got the inside line, but it's all very, very good defensive play there from Banyard to keep him out.
Yeah, it feels like a case of when, not if, with this right now, because Steele is really, really putting on the pressure now in that number 14 to Matty Banyard. That gap now just 0.4 of a second up in front. And there we go. So just watching the cars coming through, and again that gap's starting to go down between our GT4 leader and second place. But there we go, Banyard with a little bit of a deep line through into Maggots and Beckett's as they come out into Chapel. Look at Duncan Steele. He's got to run so much there. They're going to be side by side before they even get to Stowe Corner. In fact, Steele might be able to make this move stick. And yep, there he goes up the inside there. Now, whether he can hold on to that is a different question.
Yeah, great bit of driving, but he's coming straight back at him, isn't he? Is Banyard, and he's got it. He's taken him and got the position. So that's really good. Excellent performance.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. So fantastic to see this fight going on. And Banyard just... I've got no idea, how long he's been pushing to try and hold that off there. But brilliant little fight here between the 125 and the 14. The GT3 class battle, though, that is away right now. Matty Chambers in a different postcode. So here's what happened to Dan Berris here, John.
Yeah, he was in 4th place. He dropped a couple of places, and so that's what happened. Just overcooked it slightly, didn't he? Is it Maggots or Beckett's? One of the two, I think. And it just it was Stowe Corner. Looked like it got him, and he's dropped a couple of places, but he's still there in 6th place, and he's closing the gap on Chris Darnell. So we'll see how that develops in these latter stages of the race. We're lap 6 now, so we've got maybe 2 or 3 laps to go, maybe a bit more in this first race. But Matty Chambers has led from the start in the GT3. He's challenged by Chris Pawley. Liam Waterhouse in a very creditable 3rd place at the moment, although he is now being challenged by Stu Eatock. So we'll see how that develops too.
Wow, so battles all over the place here, John. Liam Waterhouse right on the tail of our second place of Chris Pawley right now, as you said. Dan Berris on the fight back drive. He's trying to take Craig Beasley. Banyard has got past Steele. And there we go. It looks like Pawley and Waterhouse in a heck of a scrap right now. 0.5 of a second. So is our battle for first place in GT4. So this is the battle though for second and third right now. We go picture in picture as we see Dan Berris trying to hold on there. Again, down that straight, it's so difficult to be able to hold on to that position, but Beasley straight back up on the inside. The number 90 fires it through, and it's going to be very, very happy with that one, as Dan Berris then has to try and make that move happen all over again. Here is back with our GT4 leaders though, and Dunn is in trouble. Look at Adam Barron, and it looks like connection issues for a lot of our drivers here tonight. Now, I'm wondering, this is the thing for me, we know how fast Craig Dunn is. So my question is this real? Has Craig Dunn got a problem? Or is Craig Dunn actually, is he wanting to have a race tonight? Is he wanting to have another car to play with here? Because
I think he's just playing with them.
I'm not sure, because he was 2 seconds up the road. And it just doesn't make much sense how you can have that pace to instantly take the gap back out and then lose it all. But again, it just seems too close. I also don't think Craig Dunn would be the type of person to leave anything to chance here, John.
No, I'm just wondering whether it might be a connection issue which is causing this, because you keep seeing him drop out, and I just wonder, see, he's dropped out again now, but Adam Barron is still very much in second place, so I think we could well be into a connection problem, but Craig Durrant still has the lead. Adam Barron is chasing, he's only half a second behind, so he's still got every opportunity down the Hangar Straight to get past his man. And what's going on in the GT3s? Because Liam Waterhouse is back into second place, David.
What a move then from Waterhouse on the last lap as well, because Matty Chambers is going to be taking that checkered flag very, very soon. We're into 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Here comes Matty Chambers now. Again, like yourself, I always make the mistake of getting the ends of the circuit the wrong way around. So I think this is us into the second half of the circuit. So I don't think the checker flag is meeting us just yet. Indeed we are, it'll be the opposite end. But there we go. Chris Pauly then still trying to keep on to that second place there. Waterhouse has it just now, but as they come through the corner there, through Stowe, again you get the feeling that Pauly just lining up, because they're going to be coming through Maggots and Beckett's here. And if Pauly can stay well enough within touching distance, it could happen. Meanwhile, back to the GT4s. Have a look at this. Adam Barron closer than he's ever been to Craig Durrant. Is it going to be a move though? Again, I think he's waiting for that run down towards Stowe Corner. You can see those connection issues there. He'll be very mindful not to have anything happening there, as no way. Pauly try to go around the outside. So, are you kidding me? What a move! That's incredible! And he's got the run as well, as Chambers is going to come across the line to take the win here. So, Matty Chambers, a dominant performance. I'm sorry, Chris Pauly, take a bow. Round of applause for that man. That is the ballsiest move I think we're going to see all season there, John. Round the outside at Stowe Corner.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff as we go back to the GT4 battle. Stu Etuck takes fourth place from Darnell. Craig Beasley ahead of Dan Berris, and then Colin Scott is going to take 8th position. I think that it's going to be Craig Dunn that is just going to hold on to this race win here. Maybe. Again, it's all about the toe as we quickly switch to a replay. This was a replay of how that happened. Jinkin left and right, and then around the outside. I mean, that is ludicrous grip.
That's a superb overtake. And I don't suspect that Liam Waterhouse was expecting that in his worst nightmares.
He's going to be having nightmares about that one. There we go. Right, so Adam Barron still behind Craig Dunn. You haven't missed anything. Craig Dunn takes the win. What a race between those two. I am very, very much of the mindset that I think Craig Dunn knew that he was in a strong position for the championship. With that race win for GT4s, I think that secures the win of the overall Drivers' Championship. Again, we'll confirm that. But Adam Barron, yeah, great race with him. Cluffy in 4th position. It's going to be 3rd place there in the GT4s. I'll just get that.
Luke Arpino.
Oh, there we go. Yep, Luke Arpino, who dropped off actually significantly towards the end there, John. 7.5 seconds behind there. 4th place for Cluffy. Duncan Steele in 5th position. Then in 6th position, Dan Hardwick, Michael Tate in 7th. Ro Barrett in 8th, Steve Ward in 9th, and then Matt Banyard in 10th position. Wow, John, so much to talk about in that race.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. Although if you look at the top three, the top positions didn't change too much actually from the start, and that's all credit to Matty Chambers there, and also to Chris Pawley as well, who produced an incredible run there to finish second in the GT3 with Liam Whitehouse in third place. You run through the runners and riders and the starting prices there, David.
Certainly. Well then, GT4 looks like this. Craig Dunn taking the win and quite likely taking the overall Drivers' Championship as well. From Adam Barron by 0.3 of a second. Luke Arpino in third place with Michael Clough in fourth. Duncan Steele in fifth. Dan Hardwick will finish in sixth place. It's a respectable seventh place for Michael Tate. Roe Barrett in eighth. Steve Ward in ninth with Matty Banyard in 10th and James Fielding rounding out the grid. Lap down in 11th place. GT3's then, Matty Chambers is the race winner for race 1. Chris Pawley, after that stunning last lap dive round the outside at Stowe Corner, taking second place from Liam Waterhouse, our rookie and newbie to the season in this race. Stu Etick takes fourth position with Chris Darnell in fifth, and Craig Beasley, in a spirited fight with Dan Berris all the way through there, takes sixth. Dan takes seventh, and Colin Scott in eighth position. Ben Weston in ninth. Chris Boland, after that lap 1 accident, in 10th position, and Chris Slater marked as 11 laps down in that race as well. So we wait for the drivers to come in. While we do, let's have a look at our reverse grid then for the next race and how many drivers are going to be swapped around. It lands on 9, so it's a top 9 reverse grid. And I believe that means that we are going to have the number 80 on pole position. That's Ben Weston there, John.
Yeah, well, good opportunity for Ben then to stake his claim, isn't it? In the second race, which will be coming up very shortly. Well, I think this is great. This sort of reversing with the spin of the wheel, and it does give other drivers a chance to experience that feeling of being right at the top of the grid. Absolutely does. So we've got a couple of drivers in. They're all filing their way in, John. So as usual, we'll let you have a chat to them, and I will do my best to try and keep up with you. Okay. Well, we'll start off in the GT3s, shall we? And we've got Chris Pawley on the line to start with. Chris, good evening to you. Now, tell me, that was a brilliant claim for that second place. One of the best moves we've seen, I think, in the whole championship. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it's the best overtake there's ever been, but I had a great race said with Liam, so credit to him. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, just feel really lucky to get that second place right there.
Well, it was a real battle that you both had, wasn't it, with Liam, who we're going to hear from in a moment, hopefully, because obviously he's very new to this competition, but he drove like an absolute veteran, looked like he's been driving around Silverstone all his life. But that, I say, we were just raving about that overtake there, Chris, because it was right at the end of the race. It was a do-or-die move, wasn't it? But it certainly paid off.
Yeah, all that was going through my mind was don't bid it right on the last lap, and somehow it works. But it's great. It's great to see some new faces as well, because I've not seen Liam before. I've missed a few weeks, but yeah, it's nice to race with some new people. And I mean, I don't know what Matty Chambers has got in his car, but he seems to be second ahead of the rest of the field today. So credit to him.
Well, we'll find out what fuel he puts in a moment, actually. But great to talk to you, Chris, and congratulations on that second place. Let's bring Liam Waterhouse in then for the first time that we've been able to speak to you, Liam, during the course of this championship. And well, congratulations. That was a brilliant performance, really. Have you got prior experience of driving in this competition, somewhere that we haven't seen before?
No, just for fun, really. I've been off for a couple of years, deployed and everything, and came back a couple of weeks ago and just decided to give it a go. So yeah, started last week, and this is my second race.
It was great to see you doing so well in qualifying, and you so nearly held on to that second place. But we were just raving about Chris's overtake on you there right at the end. It was a shall we say, a bold move, to put it mildly.
Yeah, it couldn't have been better. For the first half of the race, he was putting the pressure on me, forced a mistake on me, and then I pretty much did the same for the second half of the race. and then tried to defend third to last corner, and just messed it up a little bit, and he had the inside for the next corner. So that's the kind of racing you want to see.
It was a very clean race from your point of view, though, wasn't it? Right from the word go.
Yeah, very clean. Chris were very respectful, so we're nice and clean, nice and close.
It certainly was, and good points for the Royal Navy team today. So, congratulations! Great to have you on board tonight and doing so well. We'll bring Matty Chambers in then, who ended up winning the race. Led from the word go. Matty, what sort of fuel did you put in the car? That was the question that Chris Prawley was asking.
I think I had about 6 or 7 litres too much in the end. Oh, you just reminded me, I do need to check that, because I did put too much in the end.
Well, it didn't seem to make to slow you down, put it like that. But a great first and third then for the Navy tonight. Yeah,
it went well. Unfortunately, I saw the battle with Liam at the end. It looked a close battle. It sounded like a good battle as well. He was breathing hard and getting sweaty, it sounded like, on the wheel, but I think his heart's sort of slowed down a little bit now. Yeah.
What do you think of the circuit? You love Silverstone, presumably.
Yeah, I've got a proper love affair with Silverstone, and it's a bit of a perfect storm because I feel like I've got to grips with these cars and how to set them up now. So it felt like a nice time to come here.
It certainly did. Well, congratulations on the win tonight, top of the podium in the GT3s. Let's move over to the GT4s, and we'll come to Craig Durrant very, very shortly, who we believe has probably secured the championship with that win. Luke Arpino first, a third place for you tonight, Luke. That was quite a battle you were having with Michael Clough throughout the course of that race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed that. I thought I was going to have a chance of second with Adam Barron, but he just had the pace from me and pulled away. But no, it's good. Good fun.
And similarly with you, and enjoying the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit tonight.
Yeah, it's not my strongest track. It's quite a high flowing track, and unless you get your line perfect, it punishes you a lot. But no, I do enjoy the track. It's a good challenge.
As we're sort of approaching the end of this season, I suppose, what have you made of the competition so far, and certainly these cars?
Yeah, so it's my first season in the championship. I thought I was going to struggle, but I'm happy there's a good range of different pace in the field, and but no, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been great. I think it's really well done, and even the broadcast yourselves, I think it's great.
Well, thanks for that. It's always nice to get the odd compliment here again. I'll send you a £5 through the post. Thanks, Luke. Let's bring in Adam Barron then. Adam, you've been challenging, really hard over these last few weeks. That was a good second place tonight, but you weren't able to catch Craig Durrant despite that incredible fight that you had throughout the race.
Yeah, he's a tricky old person, isn't he? Oh, Craig. I couldn't get it done. I didn't think I'd be racing with him this race, to be honest. I thought once Michael got past, I made that little mistake. I thought those two would scamper off in the distance, because I think Michael's faster than me around here. And then he made that mistake, opened up the gap. And again, I didn't think I'd catch him, but when you've got a target, you seem to drive a bit quicker when you're aiming for him. But yeah, I just couldn't get past him.
Yeah, Michael ending up in fourth place. We did see him having that coming off, which obviously cost him the race tonight. But I think we all need to pay a bit of tribute, don't we, to Craig, really, Adam. He's been absolutely magnificent throughout this tournament.
Yeah, consistency has been the end of the game, but it's not just that. He's been quick as well. So, in qualifying, he's a level above everyone else. In the races, sometimes, especially in the reverse grid races, had a bit of bad luck and stuff. But all credit to him. He's done an outstanding job this year. So, we'll see what he does, see what cars and stuff we're racing next year, and see what we do.
Well, you've been challenging him all the way, so it was a great second place for you tonight. Well done, congratulations, and best of luck for what's to come in the next race. Let's bring in Craig then. Craig Durrant, we've been having regular conversations with you throughout the course of this championship, Craig, and I think we can probably say congratulations on what has been a magnificent championship victory for you. I think unless there's some real glitch in the statistics, you are the champion as a result of that win.
I think we're there now. That was a fairly consistent race for me. I didn't get it quite my way. I was having to push hard to stay in front, but it was a good race. I really enjoyed it.
Adam was pushing you, I think, towards the end there. It was we kept seeing you glitching in and out. We were wondering whether there was a bit of a glitch on your system, because your lead kept sort of going up to a couple of seconds and get a bit further, then it kept dropping back down again. So we wondered whether you might have been toying with the opposition, but then we thought, no, this is Craig Durrant here. He doesn't do that kind of thing.
So I had a bit of a moment on, I think it was either the end of the second lap or the third lap. And at the time, I'd had about a 2-second gap, and that brought it back into draft, I think. And then from then on, he just kept catching me. Unfortunately, I am racing on 4G. So if my internet's a bit sketchy tonight, I can only apologise. But no, it is what it is when you only get 1 meg over your broadband.
Well, there ain't no problem in competing on 4G if you perform as well as you have, not just only tonight, but throughout the whole course of the season. Just thinking, Craig, are you going to be changing from the GT4s maybe up to the GT3s? Can you do that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only reason I picked the GT4 in the first place is because I just started a new job. I wasn't sure how much free time I'd have, and if I'd have the time to learn a difficult car like the 992. So you could say I took the easy route, but at the time I didn't know how the championship was going to pan out. I didn't know about the consistency scoring, and it's just worked in my favour, to be honest. And I'm grateful for it. I think the championship has been brilliant so far, and the commentary has been great. The streams have all looked excellent, and I can only thank you for that.
Well, we've been enjoying ourselves very much, David and myself, in the commentary boxes. Our respective commentary boxes, one in Scotland, one in Buckinghamshire, and I'm actually not too far from Silverstone this evening, so that's been pretty good. But Craig, congratulations from all of us on a fantastic championship, and I'm sure you want to do a bit of crowning glory by going out with another win, but you're going to have to come from, I think, 9th on the grid to do it in the second race. But from all of us, many, many congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Going for glory for team points now.
As I said, David, earlier on, these guys are all about team. It's a team game here. They're all about team points.
Yeah, and while the championship for the drivers might be decided, it certainly isn't decided lower down the order. Still a lot of points, a lot of places to go for. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, all still up for grabs, and that is what we are going to be focusing on when we come back. We're going to take a very short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be live for race number 2. So a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back just in time for race 2. You've had plenty of time to get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, get some hobnobs in, because this one is gonna be really, really fun, as is our final race next week at Brands Hatch now, because it's just about the teams. We don't have time to bring you all of the runners and riders for this one, but it was a top 9 reversal. Let's go. I'll take that challenge on. Ben Weston on pole with Colin Scott in second, Dan Berris in third, Craig Beasley in fourth, Chris Darnell in fifth, Stu Atik in sixth, Liam Waterhouse in seventh, Chris Polly in eighth, Matty Chambers in ninth. Then on to the GT4, Steve Ward in first. It's I'll just come back into that in a second. And then we've got Steve Ward in first, Roe Barrett in seconds, then in third position Michael Tate, Dan Hardwick in fourth, Duncan Steele in fifth, Michael Clough in sixth, Luke Arpino in seventh, Adam Barron in eighth, Craig Dunn trying to make his way through from ninth position, Matty Banyard in 10th, James Fielding in 11th, and good God, John, I think we got it done just before we get ready to go racing. Here we go then. Our second race of the evening. Another 15 minutes of action here from Silverstone. The lights go on, the lights go off, and Ben Weston leads across the start-finish line here and heads into the corner for the first time. So again, with it being the GP circuit, we've got a car off into the background there, tries to keep the foot in, and that is Dan Berris getting it all sorts of wrong. Is he going to get that thing slowed down? He doesn't, but he doesn't actually hit anyone. God knows there, John, how he managed to avoid anyone.
Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. Dan Hardwick has jumped into the lead in the GT4s, by the way. Michael Clough's gone second. And what's happened to Steve Ward there? Something must have happened. He's gone down to third place. I think he was just overtaken by faster cars. But Ben Weston has made a good start. Craig Beasley now up to second place as well in the GT3s. And Craig Darnell is up to third place as well. So all change in both the threes and the fours.
Wow, what a start to this race. Duncan still trying to drive round the outside of Steve Ward there, almost makes it happen, as we've got just chaos with the GT3s. That's the only word you can use to describe it. Almost got 3 wide into into Cop's corner, and there's looked like contact there, but it wasn't. But there is further back there, and some drama as the smoke clears. That's going to make GT4s very, very nervous indeed. You can see Stu Atik off in the background there. And I get the feeling we're going to need a little bit of a breather after that. Who was that up the inside? That was the number 11 there, was it? No, that was the number 77, just firing its way through like no tomorrow. That was an incredible move there. Goodness me, that was actually Liam Waterhouse, so that was the 11 trying to make his way through. And this is making our life very, very difficult up here in the commentary box here.
Well, he's gone up to 8th place now as Liam, so he's hard on the heels of Matty Chambers at the moment. Darren Berris is back up to 6th, and in fact he's gone up to 5th now. He's just overtaken Colin Scott there for 5th place. Craig Pawley 4th, and but Craig Beasley just maintaining that lead at the moment, but it's only half a second, so it's very, very close indeed. Michael Clough now has he says it is chaos, it's mayhem, don't know where to look, but Michael Clough is now leading in the GT4s, so he's grabbed the lead there, and goodness knows what's happened to Steve Ward, who had the pole position, but he's down to 6th place now, and Craig Durrant is 5th, and he's working his way slowly up through the field. Well, with Roe Barrett, this happened with Roe Barrett in the GT4s just a few seconds ago. What's happened with Roe? Darren Berris now making a challenge as well, and he has gone up to 5th place now. 6th place, that was his 6th place charge to get himself back in after his coming off in the early moments of the race. But yeah, you don't know where to look. Don't know which way to turn on this one.
My goodness, I don't think we've had such a chaotic start from a race that didn't start from a standing start. Goodness, this is awesome, awesome stuff. But as it stands then on lap 2, it's Craig Beasley from Ben Weston from Chris Darnell. That's your GT3s all separated by about a second there. Cloughy in the lead of the GT4s ahead of Duncan Steele and Dan Hardwick. Craig Dunn somehow yet again, we need to start calling him Houdini, already up into 4th position. Adam Barron was fighting him as well there, as we see Chris Darnell alongside. That is Craig Pawley. So Pawley now gets up, Chris Pawley, excuse me, as they come up to Stowe Corner. Pawley trying to think about going around the outside there. That's not going to happen. Weston's just in front of them. Craig Beasley is saying, thank you very much, guys. I'm going to go and head off to the bar. 2 seconds up the road here. With 10 minutes left to go in this race. I have no idea what to expect from this now.
Well, I think we should just sit back and enjoy it and let the drivers just get on and do what they want to do. But Craig Beasley is not in any great mood to lose his position. He's 2 seconds clear now of Ben Weston. So this is good stuff from Craig. And we're now riding with Chris Darnell here in the GT3s. And he's holding his position just at the moment in second place, with Ben Weston chasing hard. And Weston is still trying to get through. Hasn't been able to on the Waterloo Straight. It's just really exciting, isn't it? It's you cannot take your eyes off the screen for a moment. And Craig Derrant up to 3rd now in the GT4s. Astonishing. He's yeah.
I was just about to say, John, you have to have, I mean, for us commentators, right, it takes like maybe 2 to 3 milliseconds between us seeing something, thinking about what's saying in our head, and then going to saying it. And the problem is, in this race, by the time that's happened, something else completely absurd has happened, completely mitigating. Like this battle here, Pawley and Weston, duking out as they go through Maggots and Beckett's here. By the time you've went to comment on it, either one of them has taken each other out, or now we realise that Matty Chambers is into the mix as well. So, we've only had 3 laps here, but already I think we've had about 15 minutes worth of entertainment.
Oh, I think we've had about an hour's worth of entertainment, actually, David. When you think about it, we think what's going on in the GT4s as well. What price on Craig Derrant pulling himself? He's already on the podium again, pulling himself, ahead of Duncan Steele. But Duncan he's now closing the gap on Michael Clough as well. That's just over a second. Under a second at the moment, so that's a really close race too. Pawley and Darnell, look at those two, really nip and tuck. But Craig Beasley is just enjoying himself out of the lead at the moment. He's now got a 2.5 second lead on Chris Darnell, and Craig Pawley, who of course did so well in that first race, got his second place. He's looking to go even better in this one. Darren Berris still in 6th place. He seems to have stabilised himself. Liam Waterhouse up to 7th as well now, David. He's overtaken Colin Scott, who is down to 8th. But Liam Waterhouse is now looking at Darren Berris in his front windscreen. Darren just sort of keeping an eye on him, I'm sure, in his rear-view mirror.
Yeah, I think that's the case, as Matty Chambers just made a move up the inside to take that 4th position away from Ben Weston. So Chambers up to 4th now. He'll be eyeing up 3rd position very shortly. Adam Barron gets past Matty Banyard, and we'll keep our eye on that one. But already halfway into the second race here at Silverstone, it's Craig Beasley from Chris Darnell and Chris Pawley. This is Banyard trying to catch still onto the back of Adam Barron, but in all reality he might be gone. But that's a late send up the inside there, as Barron has to take evasive action. And well, that was a fairly wild lunge there from Matty Banyard, but fair play to him and to Adam Barron. It was only going to be unrealistic if it didn't work. But how did Barron just do that? Just threw it round the outside, then tucked into the inside, got the run, and Matty Banyard absolutely left in no man's land there, and he gets to streak away there. So Banyard now has the unenviable position of now looking at the tail end of Adam Barron, but also has Steve Ward trying to catch on to him as well, and you wouldn't put past Steve Ward to actually get past him as well here.
Well, this GT4 race is really, really exciting. You'd think these guys were sort of challenging for the lead, wouldn't you, rather than for the sort of the lower places? It's obviously so important to them for the team points. But yeah, brilliant fight there between Matty Banyard and Adam Barron. Really going for it. Person who's benefited probably is Dan Hardwick from all that, because those two jockeying with each other. It means also that Duncan Steele is he's just closing the gap a little bit on Michael Clough at the moment. So that GT4 race really, really hotting up here mid-race. What's going on in GT3 at the moment? And we can see that Craig Beasley still has the lead over Chris Donnell, but Chris Pawley now is just over half a second behind Donnell. So that's looking exciting as well. Matty Chambers in 4th, Ben Weston in 5th place, Darren Berris remaining in 6th, and he's actually maintaining that lead over Liam Waterhouse too.
Oh, I thought that Steve Ward was going to have a look up the inside of Abbey there, of Matty Banyard, not able to make anything happen there. But again, now this is bringing Luke Arpino into the mix as well, and Matty Banyard at risk of getting sent all the way down the order here. He's at risk of getting taken by not one but 2 cars here. But here comes Luke Arpino. He's got the run then on Steve Ward here, and while Ward was chasing down Banyard, there we go, Luke Arpino just sails by the car in front, gets the job done. And yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful move there from Luke Arpino to take that 7th place there. A bit of a Freudian slip there, because like you said, you'd think this was a battle for a podium position, as we're seeing Chris Pawley and Chris Donnell. And look at Matty Chambers up the back of this as well. He wants to get in on this fight as well, and it's almost going to be 3 cars wide into the corner, but around the outside then it's not quite going to work out then for Chris Donnell. He has to drop out this fight as well, and there we go. So Matty Chambers up to 3rd. You wouldn't bank against him getting 2nd place here. He's looking so menacing with that pace round through Stowe, and quite honestly, the pace that he's got, I'm wondering if he's got enough time as he sends it up the inside there. Beautiful, beautiful move, and round the outside then Chris Pawley again.
Brilliant.
What a defensive move, coming out of the corner there through into Aintree, gets back onto that Wellington straight.
Oh, this is great racing. It's fantastic racing. John. This is really wonderful stuff. Couldn't be more exciting if we weren't watching it for real, really. But look at Chambers and Pawley go. Chris Pawley has found some pace from somewhere, hasn't he? And he's suddenly now only 3 seconds behind Craig Beasley in the lead. So is he challenging for a leading position? Luke Arpino really going for it as well now. Look, looking, and he's got through to 6th place, overtaken Matty Banyard. So in both the GT3s and GT4s, I'll tell you what, here's an idea, David. You watch the GT3s, I'll watch the GT4s, and we'll compare notes. And who was that who came off there?
That was Luke Arpino.
Luke Arpino.
Getting ahead of Steve Ward and trying to chase down Matty Banyard. He got absolutely nuked from orbit. Back to the GT3s then. Ben Weston trying to fend off Liam Waterhouse. Waterhouse might get this position. In fact, he will get this position out of the corner there onto the Wellington straight. Down the Hangar straight. Again, a brilliant run that he has got just now, but yeah, Weston able to cover it off, but goes in too deep into Stowe, and Waterhouse isn't going to need asked too many times to take this position. So as it stands, Matty Chambers now, that gap 2.7 seconds. He's taken about 0.8 of a second off that last lap alone there. There you go, 0.9 of a second faster than Craig Beasley. This could happen. I think he might be struggling for time, but he's also well ahead of 3rd and 4th place, so Matty Chambers could be challenging for this race lead.
Well, that's Liam Waterhouse making really his first big mistake in this sort of championship. He's come off there, and was that at...
I think that was at lap 1, yes. Yeah, so all bunched up together.
Right. Okay. Oof. Yeah. Mayhem. Which is what
that's what happens. Michael Tate gets the rear end tagged off him, and tries to get going again. So this is Matty Chambers then. That was a little bit rude, I think, there. A little bit of a nudge on the inside there.
Yeah, ungentlemanly conduct, I would say. Oof. He got another nudge there as well, didn't he? All his own work, we're being told by the producer. Fair enough.
That's not what you want to see. And then this is Adam Barron, who just decides that no, I'm gonna break a little bit later, and then just sends it. And I think that was Arpino again. So that this is from earlier on, but that was Luca Arpino that was on the receiving end of that instant. Then Rob Barrett. This is, you did ask actually what happened. A little bit of an overcorrection there, and the car's spinning round. Oh, that's a
come on, Rob. This isn't the Dodgems. This isn't the Dodgems at the fairground. This is serious stuff. And Michael Tate as well getting on the action too. But at least you'll be able to spin it round and get going again.
Here on the highlight reel there, John.
Yeah, I think so. We're just looking at replay after replay. I don't know how far Michael's taking us back here, but we are playing catch up on all these incidents, of which there have been several, shall we say. But it's Craig Beasley. Okay, Craig Beasley still has the lead in the GT3s. Matty Chambers is less than a second behind him now, so he is closing that gap. Chris Pawley is in third place. Michael Clough still leading the GT4s. And who's in second place, David? Well, what a surprise. What a surprise.
It's not though, is it? I mean, it's really, by this point, you're just like, I mean, what do you have to do to Craig Dunn? Do you have to give like the entire field a 30-second head start? I
think we have to do is remove one of his wheels, to be honest.
You know he'd still probably win, to be fair.
3 wheels on my Porsche and I'm still leading the race, yeah. To misquote an old song.
Right, okay, this is a bit awkward, isn't it? Look at Matty Chambers right on the tail end. No way. There is no danger this is actually happening right now. I thought it might have happened, but it looks like Matty Chambers is going to try and take lead. This is going to be then through Stowe Corner, and he's done it. He's slipped the old dummy. Beasley goes wide into the corner there, and Chambers is like, yeah, thank you very much. Takes the lead of the race on the final lap. Beasley, I can imagine, is absolutely livid with that car right now.
Not exactly team orders, is it?
Yeah, that's. I mean, Beasley. That was, if we're being honest, that was Beasley's own making there, because he took too much speed under pressure from Chambers into Stowe Corner, went a little bit wide, and of course Chambers is just going to take advantage of that. Now, what Beasley does need to do is he does need to get the head down now, because look at that, Chris Pawley right behind him. And wanting to try and take advantage of that as well. Now, we're not out of the woods yet, but it is looking very likely as we're on the last corner here. It's going to be Matty Chambers for the win. Setting up a photo finish then for the Royal Navy GT3. Chris Pawley in third, and then it's going to be Chris Darnell in fourth position as well. Dan Berris is going to finish in fifth, Liam Waterhouse in sixth, Ben Weston in seventh, Colin Scott in eighth position. Michael Clough is going to come across the line to take the win in the GT4, so a very well deserved. We've not really spoken too much about Cloughie in this second race here, and he's absolutely deserved this race win here.
He has indeed. He had we actually did comment quite a lot about him in during qualifying, if you remember. But yeah, he's done extremely well. He had a fairly quiet first race, I think, David, and that's probably the reason. But he's quietly got on with the job tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I'm going to look forward to hear what he has to say on that one. Chambers, though, for me, I just like the pace of that lad is unbelievable. You'd never think, right, that Matty is down in 14th position in the championship. And yeah, if only he could have started more races, then I think the championship would have been a very, very different thing altogether. Craig Dunn, though, I mean, if race one we were, maybe he's won the championship 100%. That's it. It's done. It's dusted. He is your official drivers' champion now after that one. An exemplary drive from the tail end of the GT4 grid, navigating that chaos. And yeah, what more can we say about Craig at this point?
I'm not sure I'm going to ask him in the interview time. I'm sure we'll find something to talk about. But yeah, you're quite right, David. He's been absolutely brilliant. And Matthew Chambers tonight, what a night he has had. 2 first places and an extremely exciting second race there as you run through the final list for this evening.
Yep, there we go then. GT4's Michael Clough taking the race win by 5 seconds over Craig Dunn. Duncan Steele in 3rd place, with Dan Hardwick in 4th position. Adam Bam tried as hard as he might to get back on the podium, but it wasn't to be. Steve Ward in 6th, James Fielding in 7th, Michael Tate in 8th. Matty Banyard disappeared down the order as well in 9th position. Roe Barrett in 10th, and Luke Arpino, after being torpedoed several times, down in 11th place. Then we move on to the GT3s. Matty Chambers taking the race win from Craig Beasley after a thrilling last lap there. Chris Pawley in 3rd and Chris Darnell in 4th. Dan Berris in 5th, Liam Waterhouse in 6th, Ben Weston in 7th, Colin Scott in 8th, and Stu Etic in 9th position. That's how they all lined up over the line for the final race of the evening. And as usual, we've got a wealth of drivers to have a chat with, John, so it's over to you.
We'll want to have a chat tonight. We'll start on the show the GT4s, and we'll start with Duncan Steele, who got that 3rd place tonight in the GT4 race. Duncan, good evening to you, and well done. Great race. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah, that was a great little race. I've avoided the carnage at the start. I don't really know what happened. I'll have to watch the replay.
We had to watch the replay to find out ourselves, to be honest, because there were so many incidents that happened at the beginning of that race that it was very difficult to know exactly what was going on. Because as soon as you mentioned who was leading, then suddenly it changed hands and there were more incidents and whatever. But you're quite right. Staying out of trouble sometimes is the best course of events, isn't it? Because it can get you right up there, and you obviously held that position.
Yeah. Me and Cluffy were off into the distance for a bit, and then he started to build a gap, and I could see Craig coming from behind. We've all seen Craig in this series, but I tried to put up some sort of defence, but it was just kind of a token gesture, really. Why not?
You're on the podium, and good points for the team. That's really important.
That's the one. Yeah.
Good stuff, Duncan. Great to talk to you tonight, and congratulations on that 3rd place.
See you later.
Yeah, we'll talk to a disappointed man now then, shall we? Craig Durrant, I'm sure, Craig, you're beside yourself with disappointment at not actually winning that race, but we've already had a great chat with you tonight, obviously, and that 2nd place really does, I think, 100% secure the championship. But that was a really good battle that you had this evening in that 2nd race, wasn't it, with Cluffy?
Yeah, I think he had me. He got through the traffic at the start and the chaos at the start better than I did. And then I couldn't close the gap on him. Who was it? I had a good battle with Dan, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
And Duncan, I think. That was great. Great fun. Solid points. P2, solid points for the team.
Exactly. I mean, points for the team now, very important. And I suppose you must be thinking, the pressure's off now. I can really enjoy myself out there.
We'll see when the final results come out. Whenever Dan manages to get that done, and then the last where we're at next week.
Brands Hatch next week, I think, the Grand Prix circuit at Brands. Yeah,
Brands Hatch Grand Prix. Yep.
A great way to finish. But a great night for you, Craig. I mean, you can't complain there. A win and a 2nd place and the championship. So that's really good. And I know we'll be talking a lot more with you next week about all of that. But I'd like to bring Michael Clough in now, because, Michael, it's been an interesting night for you, hasn't it? In more ways than one, but not a bad way to finish with a GT4 victory tonight in that 11th race.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. I wish I'd not made a meal of it in the first race, and granted it probably set me further back in the 2nd race, but I would sooner have had a good battle with Adam and Craig in that first one. Still, I enjoyed leading from the front and just trying to stay consistent, because that's a challenge in itself.
It is a challenge, and you actually got up there very early on and was able to secure that place. We did actually see you during qualifying and actually during the first race, mowing the grass a bit, but it certainly improved a second time round.
Yeah, you got to work out where you go wrong, and then try and not do that in the race.
We thought you were sort of doing as the crow flies, sort of missing a few of the corners out, but
that one.
that was fun to watch, but clearly didn't upset your final race tonight, and it must feel good to win a race at Silverstone. Of all the circuits you could win races at, to win at Silverstone is brilliant, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. It's obviously it's not quite the same as real life, but I enjoy the track. I always have. Usually up there or thereabouts with the times. So yeah, it was good to win here. It's a good track.
And you'll enjoy that glass of virtual champagne that's coming your way. Michael, well done. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night to you. Let's bring in our top three then from the GT3s, and we'll start with Chris Pauly, our second chat of the evening. Chris, that was another very good race for you there, and it was a right old battle going on ahead of you between Craig and Matty this evening, but you'll be happy with that third place. Chris Pauly, are you there? I don't think...
Well, he is here, but I'm not sure. Maybe he's got...
He's in the commentary box rather than in the interview room, so maybe Chris hasn't, shall we say, got the mute button on or something like that. We'll try and come back to Chris in a moment, shall we, and see whether we can get his view. But we'll bring in the Craig Beasley, who was second on the race tonight. Craig, you must have thought you had that race in the bag until Matty Chambers popped up right at the end.
Yeah, I could see him gaining, coming through Chris Donnell and then Chris Pauly or whichever round it was, and I was like, yeah, there's just one lap too many. But yeah, he's been on fire tonight. Well, he's on fire every week when he's racing, but yeah, tonight he was just in a different league. Like Chris said in last race, I don't know what he's got in his car, but unreal pace.
Yeah, some sort of rocket fuel, I think, has gone in there. But nevertheless, from yourself, a great race tonight, and you've achieved an awful lot this evening.
Yeah, good first lap. Got lucky with the spin of the dice this week again, and started third, I think. But yeah, had to overtake Colin and Ben. And then I just settled into a little bit of a pace and knew that Matt would catch me eventually. Because I'm on the chat with him as well, so I was like, "Yeah, you're catching me." So,
okay, you're actually sort of doing a bit of sledging with each other, were you? To use a cricket expression. Good stuff. Well, great to talk to you, Craig, and congratulations on the second place. I wonder whether Chris is there. Chris Pauly, are you with us? We're just seeing whether we can find him. He's come into the commentary box. Chris, are you there?
I am here. Apologies.
You are with us now. I thought we'd better bring you in because that was a third place to add to the second earlier. So not a bad night's work for you.
No, not a bad race at all. I saw I managed to avoid the carnage on the first lap, which I think was lucky, but it was key, to be honest. And I saw Matty Chambers go around, and I thought there might be a chance of a win. But honestly, I don't know what he's been eating tonight, but he's managed to pull another one out of the bag. So, good race.
He certainly has. But all in all, not a bad night's work for you on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit.
No, and it's not one of my favourite tracks, so I think that was some good results there. And both well for the next race.
It does indeed. Chris, good to talk to you. Glad we managed to get through to you in the end. And Matty Chambers, for the second time this evening, what is the secret of your success? You can tell. There's no one else watching or listening, so you can tell me the secret of your success tonight.
I don't know. Lots and lots of practice at Silverstone. Maybe not in this car, but just a knowledge of the track, I think.
Well, whatever it was brilliant, and you saved yourself literally right through until almost the last lap to overtake Craig. And he was just saying that you were talking to each other on the internal chat, And was it rather kidology because he kept saying, "You're catching me, you're catching me, you're catching me"? Apparently.
I don't think so. I think we've raced together a lot in karting and stuff like that, and there was just a competitive spirit. I think he knew I wasn't gonna just let him have the win, and likewise, like he didn't think he was gonna have it. So it was just a fun battle. It's something that we don't often get to do, so it was quite fun to do.
No team orders or anything like that kicking about that he had to let you through.
No, he would have defended that to the death.
I'm sure he would, yeah. But all in all, though, Matty, a brilliant night, and you really nailed the circuit this evening. And a lot of people were just saying, well, we know that you've missed quite a lot this year because obviously, work comes first, clearly. But if you had a few more races, you'd have been right up there for the championship this year.
Yeah, I think I probably could have put a bit more effort in the race too. I've quit out a bit too early sometimes when I've just been taken out, so it's sort of my own doing as well that I'm not up there in the championship. I've chucked away points myself, let alone the missed rounds due to work. So yeah, it's partly on me as well.
Well, you should be very proud of what you've achieved tonight, and of course we've got 2 more races to go, the last 2 races of the championship next week at Brands Hatch. So you must be going into those races thinking, hey, I've got a really good chance. Wouldn't it be good to get 4 races out of 4?
Well, hopefully, yeah. I haven't driven these at Brands Hatch. That was one of the rounds I missed, so take a little bit of learning, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Indeed. Well, great night for you this evening, and congratulations to you, and fantastic points for the senior service tonight. So Matty Chambers winning both of the races on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Have you got your breath back now, David? I mean, you left me to do all the interviews, so have you got your breath back after that rip-roaring competition?
What a brilliant night tonight. That is definitely one of the best nights we've had in all of this championship. It was a wild second race, and thankfully it wasn't wild because of collisions or incidents or accidents. It was just all of the action happening at every single corner involving every single driver. So that is exactly what we wanted to see this season, and delighted that we finally got it at race 2 tonight. But that is it for us tonight. We move our attention on to next week, the final race, John, that we head to Brands Hatch. That should be an absolute crack, and we hope to see you guys and girls out there along with us for the ride as well. As always, please like and subscribe to the RAF eMotosrports channel here on YouTube and on Facebook. But on behalf of myself, Dave Christie, and of my wonderful co-commentator John Knighton, a huge thank you to our production team of Mike Yao behind the scenes and everyone at the RAF eMotosrports channel. A huge thank you to you at home for watching as well. We'll see you next week for the final of the AFVRC. Until then, take care and stay safe.